Hey, Rideshare Commando here, and check this. There are several areas in your neighborhood that you should not be driving in. Let me tell you about it. First off, if you see a transit center near you, meaning a stop for, excuse me, a stop for a light rail or a bus station, make note of those because that's the area that you need to steer clear of. Why? Because they already did most of their driving. They just need to go around the corner to get back home. And quite often you're going to get those itty bitty rides that you just drove 10, 15 minutes for that are zero point 0.5 miles or zero point 0.8 miles. Either way, you just lost money. And riders that go a shorter distance, they do not rate well. They never rate well. Ever. Listen to me, short rides are bad. You need to avoid them because they're going to cost you money and they're going to lower your rating. And if your rating goes anywhere below 4.8, then guess what? Riders are instantly going to get into your car, and this is psychology speaking. Um, Riders are going to get into your car expecting something to go wrong. If you're above 4.8, they're going to think, oh wow, he's great. So let me automatically think that they're great. However, if they see a low rating, lower than usual, guess what? You are the scum of the earth until you prove otherwise. And that's just how people are. The other group that I avoid, if I can, are millennials. If you are born after 1989, you are wrong. Or at least you were born wrong. But that's okay. Things can change. See, there are millennials out there that are human beings in the sense of they understand that people can have bad days. They can understand that, okay, traffic sucked. They can understand that maybe that other rider in the car that cracked those bad jokes or was racist. Okay, maybe that rider doesn't affect the driver, or yeah. But a lot of millennials, they take the wrong things way too seriously. They will get into your car, and if anything is wrong, guess what? It's your fault. And you represent Uber. You are Uber's contact. You are the reason of the ping being in the wrong place. It's not their fault. You are the reason for anything that could ever possibly go wrong in that ride. If it took too long, it's your fault. If it took, if another rider was rude or drunk or cracking bad jokes, it's your fault. You represent Uber and Lyft. I don't represent Lyft anymore because fuck that company. Um, they're good as a supplemental, but they will never be what Uber is. And Uber is trying to make changes. I respect that. But driving millennials, there are times when I will cancel that ride. There have been times I've canceled a ride because millennials are rude, and if been given the choice to pick up a millennial, and these are the people that use a letter as their first name, um, I will avoid it, and I will cancel the ride and all of that because they hurt your ratings. And millennials don't tip. Come on, you're not serving them food, and even if you serve them food, 15%, they were late with the water. Give them 10%. That's how millennials think. And they think it's okay. Like, they think this type of culture is okay. And I cannot wait until they are older and it bites them in the ass. Because believe me, all this stuff is going to come full circle. And their children are probably going to be worse because they are the children of people barely older than me. It's a scary concept. I avoid millennials. And I avoid any neighborhood that looks poor. If I know the neighborhood is poor, I avoid it. Like, I don't drive around where I live. I cannot. Because literally 2 miles away, there is the Federal Way Transit Center, and those people don't need to go anywhere. And then the rest of the population out here, I mean, they're poor. and they barely want to go anywhere. They're not going to pay for long rides. So avoid those areas. Avoid millennials, avoid poor areas, avoid any transit center. Okay, if they're coming back from a Greyhound, okay, cool. That means they just traveled a long distance and they've got longer to go. But for the most part, if you're picking somebody up from a bus stop, they are not going to pay you jack. And they're definitely not tipping. Oh my God, if they take line or pool, oh my God, they're not tipping at all. Like, you just destroy. Like, that was a pity ride. If you take a line or pool ride, then that's a pity ride. Either I pity you because you just didn't make any money, or you pity that person because they're in the middle of nowhere and you haven't had a ride for 10 minutes. Okay, that's the only time you should be taking a pool ride, and that's the only time you should ever pick up at a transit center or in a poor neighborhood. Truly. And I know a lot of people are going to hate me for this. Millennials, you probably hate me to my core, but I really don't care, because there are certain ways to treat human beings and there are certain ways not to. Okay? If somebody gets you from point A to point B, makes you laugh on the way, they shouldn't be blamed for traffic. They shouldn't be blamed for another passenger that they just met, just like you. They shouldn't be blamed for any of that. And you know what? If a person gets you from point A to point B and there's no near accidents, they deserve a tip. So millennials can hate me all they want to, but I have a higher standard of living than most millennials. And I can say this. So drivers, be careful who you pick up. Really. I mean, I'm going to use the word ghetto because I've been in ghetto neighborhoods. I've lived in, okay, Southside Chicago, Chicago Heights, okay. People were stabbed every 2 days out there where I lived. So I can say ghetto. And there are some ghetto neighborhoods that you should not be driving in, and you should never pick up in. Okay? For your area, you probably know where these are. All I'm saying is be careful out there, be safe, and at the same time, watch your earnings and ratings. You got to be careful with these people out here, because they don't give a damn about you. Passengers, if you died tomorrow, if you died in the car ride, you know what's going to happen while you're dying and having that heart attack? You know what they're going to do? They might call 911 for you. Maybe. But as soon as they're done, or before they call 911, they will order another ride and cancel yours. That's what passengers are and what they do. That's how little you mean to them. That's why I treat them like children I talk to them like children. Hi, how are you? Welcome. If you need to charge your phone, there's a charger back there, and there's some music playing. I talk to every passenger like that when they get in the car, because passengers don't care about you. So you gotta fake being nice the same way you fake being nice around somebody's kid because they're a kid. Okay? You gotta be that way. That's the only way that you can maintain your ratings and keep them high. If they strike up a conversation, have a conversation. It's the only way to keep your ratings up. You have to avoid those pitfalls, because they will kill your earnings and they will kill your ratings. The less the person pays, the more likely they are to give you a 2-star, 3-star, 4-star. The less likely they are to give you a 5. 5 stars are only reserved for really long rides, or, God forbid, that the person is an actual human being. So I hope this doesn't discourage any of you. I'm just giving you tips and doing a little bit of a ranting. Why not? It's my channel, F it. But I'm giving you tips on how to make more money, because I average 35 an hour. And that's after Uber and Lyft take out their little fees. Okay? If you want to make as much as I do, pay attention, start watching these channels. Subscribe. And if you don't want to make that much, if you think you're doing okay on your own, don't. That's entirely up to you. I'm just trying to help people like you out. Anyway, later y'all. Subscribe.